was so demanding. Now it's time for me to have some fun. I'm gonna stop by the liquor store and get me one. After I have my drink, I'm gonna take a bath, go down to the club, spend every dime I have. I'm going to the club to have a ball. I don't care if I tear down the wall. I'm gonna party tonight. That's what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'm gonna party until the daylight. Everybody in here, don't be ashamed. We all came out to do the same thing. Some full of that whiskey, some full of that gin. Just make sure you get your party in. It don't matter if you're young or old. Just let the music soothe your soul. We gonna party tonight. That's what I'm gonna do, y'all. We gonna party until the daylight. Everybody say yeah. Everybody say yeah. Gonna find me a partner, don't care who I choose, 'cause I got on my dancing shoes. I'm gonna party tonight. I'm gonna party until the daylight. I'm gonna party tonight. I'm gonna party until the daylight. It don't matter if you're young or old. Just let the music soothe your soul. Gonna find me a partner, don't care who I choose, 'cause tonight I'm wearing my dancing shoes. I'm gonna party, just party tonight. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right, you guys, here we go. Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. And yourself?
I'm good. So let's get started. Let's introduce yourself.
I'm Charles Wilson. Can you hear me clear?
A little bit. Not say something else.
Can you hear me clear?
Okay, now I can. Okay. Can you hear me clear?
Okay.
Can you hear me
Sure.
pretty good? Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Mr.
Yeah,
Charles
very good.
Wilson. Well, nice to meet you. Thank you so
Same
much
here.
for coming on Live with Vicky P. And we're going to get into this interview. So, Mr. Charles Wilson,
Okay.
how long have you been singing?
Since age 7.
Mm-hmm.
I started
Mm-hmm.
singing at age 7.
Mm-hmm.
Started going in nightclubs at age 14. Started recording 1978.
Wow. Wow. So you started singing at 7. Did you start in the choir?
Yeah,
You did. Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
my family was kind of musically inclined, so my siblings played instruments and they sang. And we once had a we started singing in church, and I started singing at 7, and I've been doing it ever since. I started
Mm.
playing instruments, but I didn't find that too interesting, so I stopped.
You like the singing. Forget about the instruments. You like the singing part.
Yeah. Well, I played guitar for a while. I played drums for a while, and that was basically it. Drums longer than I did guitar. Went to music school, but I just didn't get the guitar thing. I didn't like what it did to my fingers, and you have to press the strings hard. It was uncomfortable for me. It was easy to just grab a mic.
Just grab a mic and go. So at 7, you were singing in the choir. So when you became 14, okay. So other than singing in the choir, now you're singing, let's say, Southern soul, blues. You're singing the blues, or what did you
Blues,
transition?
Southern soul, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I was in gospel in the church, but I was singing blues at an early age anyway. It was just or my uncle Moon or Tyrone Davis, Johnny Taylor, B.B. King, or Bobby Bland on those days. And it was independence and the shy lights and artistic and all of it. Uh, but I always sang blues. I just sang gospel in church, but I always sang blues from the beginning.
From the beginning. Okay. Well, yeah. Like you said, I know you've shared the stage with some of the greatest, the BB King, the James Brown, the Lou Rawls, like
The Al Greens, the Lou Ross, the Seal Johnsons, the Tyrone Davis, the great
it,
little Milton, the Coco Taylor, Etta James. I can go on and on and on.
oh wow, Etta James. Oh my gosh, like that's major, that's huge. So, like, at what ages were you at this particular time when you were able to share a stage with those type of artists?
Well, at 14 years, my first year, my teacher went out to the club and he saw a Bobby Rush show. And when he saw a Bobby Rush show, Bobby Rush had a manager by the name of Andre Williams, not Andre Williams, the race car driver.
Mm-hmm.
And he told him he had a student that wanted to break into the business. It's neat to say, I didn't know that my uncle and Bobby Rush was best friends. So he and I started talking to Andre. Andre introduced me to Bobby Rush, and I started hanging around Bobby Rush a lot. What I'm trying to do, and he was saying, "Well, listen, I don't want to record a solo artist. If I record somebody, I want to record somebody like Sam and Dave." And I just kept after him, and he said, "You so determined." So he asked my mom and dad, could he take me on the road on the weekend to be his valet? And being a valet is artist club. Artist club having to being a pro where you open up the show. At 14 years old, I would go on the road with Bobby Rush on the weekend. And I probably did that for about 4 years, 5 years. When I got out of high school in 1975, I did a year and a half college. And then I just went out for myself. And I've been out here. And I recorded my record in 1978.
Let me say this. I'm gonna take you off the screen and bring you back because the connection is like going in and out, in and out. So let me try something, okay?
Well, should I go back and zoom in or just let you do it? Let you do what you're going to do?
Yeah, let me do it first and
I'll let
let's
you
see.
do it.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You still going in and out. So you go out and come back in again.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay.
Hey Fiala, how you doing? Hey Belinda, how are you? Hopefully we can get his sound down pat. You gotta connect with the. So I'm gonna play a song while he is working on that, you guys. Hold on, let's see. Okay, let's see now. Say something.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
I can. So okay, we're gonna go back until to the part. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the part where you started traveling with Bobby Rush on the weekends because you was like in and out, in and out.
Okay. Well, I was 14 years old, and I, like I said, I kept going over to Bobby Rush, and he said, "You know, you so determined." And so he talked to my parents about can I go on the road with him on the weekend. And as I say, I started as a valet, which is someone to carry his clothes, to driving his van, to being a protege, which protege means all that stuff. And I did about 4 or 5 years. Then I did a year and a half college after I graduated in 1975. Then I just went on my own. And
all right, you guys. Y'all, it's not me this time, y'all. So let me go ahead and play another song so we get this thing right.
Charles Wilson. Listen, let me tell y'all what happened to me the other day. I came home, and as I walked in my door, I heard my woman moaning and groaning. So you know the first thing I thought, fellas, I said to myself, oh, I know this couldn't be happening to me. So I ran up, kicked the bedroom door open, and there my woman was, laying there, buck nude. And she was moving just like this.
All right, you guys, we're going to try this again. Okay, let's see.
can you hear me now?
I can.
I
So
can
you.
hear you. Okay.
Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so you graduated from wait a minute. Did you say college or high school?
High school, 1965, did a year and a half college, and I went on my own. So I started recording, and I recorded my first song at 1970.
Okay, so now you recorded your first song. So how was that? How did you feel after you recorded your very first song?
Well, it was exciting, but it was different because before I ever had a record, I was working 3 nights a week, $150, me and my band. Well, when I got a record, automatically my price should go up. If the record ain't hot, the price don't go up. So now I put myself in a price bracket like $700. I want $300, and I didn't know that it was about You can't draw that. But Barbara Rush had talked to me about the fact that
Sorry, you guys. We're gonna try to get this thing together. But y'all know it's not me. That's all I can say. My connection tonight is good. So next Tuesday, you guys, I will be interviewing Houston County Cowboy Don Julio. So if you like Houston County Cowboy, you guys don't want to miss this because he has some new music out, new dances. He's coming on back on, you guys. Hold on. Hold tight. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? The connection's not good.
okay.
The connection's not good. Let's see. All right, you guys. Mm-mm. Yeah, the connection's not really good. It's definitely your connection. You might have to move somewhere else. Can you move somewhere else?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, try that. Try to move somewhere else. If anybody is interested in having an interview, a one-on-one interview with the one and only me, Vicky P, the host of the Live with Vicky P show, you can reach out at 404-307-5445. Of course, I interview artists, I interview businesses, nonprofit organizations. If you have events, I do promotions, and I host other events. Now booking for the Houston County Cowboy, you can call Selena at 762-436-0464. He is a Southern Soul artist. He's available for concerts, parties, private events. He's trying to come back. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see how this works.
Is it better now?
I think it is.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay.
Okay.
You recorded your first single. You and your band
1978.
1978. You and the band was already playing
Right.
what three nights a week. Let's start from there.
Yeah, well, work was plentiful back then, but we at that time we wasn't giving $250 a night, so work was plentiful. So when I got a record, I thought I deserved more, and then I learned that with me jacking my price up, my work got smaller. And Bob Rush had taught me the fact that you only worth what you draw. But still, as a young artist coming up, you think you got a record, you're a star now, so you should get more money. And I got through that hurdle, to realize that I had to go back to maybe working $250, $300 a night or something like that until I got a record strong enough to demand a better price. So I just continued to work for whatever I could get. And there was good gigs, there were small gigs, and you just keep on doing what you're doing.
So, okay, so back then when you say so you went from 250 to what did you go to? When you
Well,
hit when
it
you hit
varies as the years went passing by. I got much more money, but when I was working for $250, $300 stuff like that, uh, I worked at 3, 4, sometimes 5 nights a week. Work was just plentiful. Back then, you paying a musician 15, 20, $25 a night. Um,
right,
when you get a
right.
record, you start to think, oh, I should get more money. But then a record, a record can do two things. It can help you or hurt you. If you get a record out and you're young and you get the big hit, it can hurt you. If you get a record out and it get hot, then it can help you. So when you're young coming up in the game, it's easy to get the big head and get an ego. It's easy because you want to be somebody. But when I first started in this thing, it wasn't about money. I was just happy to be on the stage, glad to be on the
Mm,
stage. It was a minute before I learned that you're supposed to get paid for your services.
mhm.
I've done more free shows than I probably could even remember. Uh, so many times I went to big talent shows. They make you pay $25, $50, saying you enter, you win a
Yep.
recording contract. I
Mhm.
won several times, never got the contract, but that's all the game. That's all in the game. You
Mhm.
get done like that through the years coming up.
Mhm.
Promoters tell you if you work when you do get a record that's worthwhile, they say, hey, you work cheap for this price. I'll let you headline over somebody. So you all hype because you don't know any better, and
Right.
you learn better. You learn better. The music industry is like in show business, acting, actress, whatever, singing, playing, whatever. It's one business that you cannot pimp. What
Mm,
you do today may pay off. Is what you do today may pay off today, or it may pay off 10 years from now. That's
mhm.
why it ain't a game that you get in and you quit. You got to stick and stay.
Mm. Woo, you said some stuff right there now. So obviously you can tell that it is definitely, I'm sure, a difference from then to now. I mean, everything
Oh,
has changed. Yeah,
a great
definitely.
difference. Yeah. We couldn't even go in radio stations. We had to have enough money, which we really didn't, to hire a promotion man to give our record to for him to take in the station. The program director wouldn't talk to us because payola was a real serious thing. It's still a serious thing, and it's a federal felony. It's a federal offense, and they didn't want to get caught up in that. The next thing is a promoter take your record into the station to get it played. The program director will listen well. If the record wasn't mixed well, they'll give it back and say we can't play it. Or if it was mixed well, we had mom pause back then, stores. So the program director listen to the records, always sound good. He'd get on the phone, call the local mom pause. Hey, I got a new record on Charles Wilson. Y'all got it in stores? They said, no, we ain't got it in stores. They wouldn't play it because distribution was hard for a black man back then.
Wow.
It was hard. You almost had to be with a label under somebody's umbrella to get in the door. They wouldn't even give a black man distribution unless he was with a label. It was
Wow.
difficult back then. And it was very expensive to record because everything was live band. They started doing the computer stuff in the 80s, when the Ready for the Worlds came out and all those people, they started singing, with the program computer. Back then, we had to cut with a live band. We didn't know nothing about a track show or
Mm,
program computer. Well, they call it sequencing first. That was the first name for sequencing and all that sampling and sequencing.
mhm.
We before the 80s, we wasn't familiar with that. We didn't know anything thing about that. That
Wow.
came in the 80s when the
Wow.
groups like Ready for the World, all those groups, yes. And R&B brought that here first.
Mm. So with what what would be the most solid advice that you would give a brand new artist?
Wow. Leave your ego at home. Make sure this is what you want to do. If you, by chance, in school, get yourself something under your belt for a
Mm,
plus. Uh, my late great friend Tyrone Davis would always say to me, he called me News. He said, "Hey, News, some of us will go and some of us won't." So if you jump out there on the limb and you think that just because you can sing well, Bobby Rush taught me one thing when I was young. We would be riding, and he said, "Wilson," he said, "let me tell you something." He said, "When you grow up in this business, you're gonna find guys that you might could sing better than, you know more than them, but they'll pass you up." He said, "Don't be offended." He said, "Because it ain't always the good who make it; it's the man that get the break." So
mhm.
what I tell a young artist is, if you don't have to, don't start a family. Because if you have a dream and a goal, see, entertainers are dreamers. If you have a dream and a goal and then you're a real man, you start a family, you make babies, you're going to want to get a job and take care of your responsibility,
Yeah,
which is what you should do. But it could hinder your dream, and it
right.
will hinder you. So many friends of mine that could outsing me, more talent than I was, more talented than I was, they got caught up in making babies and getting married, and 20 years down the road, they wife done left them, they divorced,
Mm,
and they sit down and talk to me, and they had to get a job because they wanted to be there for their children, which was the right thing to do. But they regret it so much because they threw their dream away and they felt they was too old to start it over. I seen a
mm,
lot of that. I seen a lot of that happen. BB King used to sit me down and tell me this. So, Mr. Wilson, this business is not for a married man. And at first, I didn't understand what he was saying, but I learned to understand what he was saying. So much comes with this being out on the road, going away from home. You got to have a strong woman at home,
strong
to
foundation.
nurture a strong. I'm telling you, you got to have a strong foundation. You really do. Uh, it's not like that today, like it used to be. Look at all the NFL players, the NBA players. Look at all the entertainers. Divorce, 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 divorce. Uh, Women was cut different back then. You know what I'm saying? If they believed in their man, they ride and they died with him. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And as an entertainer, you can get caught up. You can get caught up. Temptation. You can get caught up if you're not strong and your relationship is not strong. You can get caught up, and it's hard to feed a hungry dog a steak. You know that.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying?
Woo!
So, but a lot of guys have maintained and some ain't. But even the strongest guys, uh, take for example, my uncle Lil Milton, Tyrone Davis, and all that. They wives stuck it out with him to the day they died. But those women, they paid dues to be with those men.
Come on.
I mean, it was no joke. They took care home financially, but those women paid some serious dues. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know personally because I know all the wives, and we had countless conversations. And my auntie, my Uncle Milton wife, we had countless conversations. And you got to really be a different kind of woman to stick with an entertainer or NFL player or NBA player. It's not easy. It's not
Right,
easy.
right.
Um, and the women that's out there won't truly respect you. So your man he must respect you because the women out there, they won't.
You better
And
say
you
that.
got to have You got to have a real partner with you because, and I can understand from a woman's standpoint because this business can get very lean sometimes. Can you imagine your man just working a regular job, then all of a sudden he get a hit record? Now you and him do everything together, enjoy life together. Now he's gone all the time. The
Some
money's there, but the love ain't there, the attention, the time ain't there. And then he get cold. He get cold. The record get cold. So he go from making say $7,500 a night back to barely can work. You got to be a strong woman to
yes.
deal with those lean times. And that's why I say to the younger guy, save your money. If you can get a
Mm,
degree in something, get a degree, save your money because I see entertainers right now in the past 4 or 5 years that gotten hot and I can see them dwindling down.
sit
They can't
down.
see that now. And the reason they can't see it because they never been there before. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
If you've been
right.
there before, if you've been there before and it happened to you, you can see it.
You can
But what
recognize
happens is that when it's good, you think that that good lasts forever, but it's only a
forever.
season. And I can see entertainer friends of mine now going back to doing the stuff they did, even me, when they first started out. So Uncle Milton, Tyrone, and Johnny Taylor used to always say, Pete, they call everybody Pete. You only big as your last record. At first, I didn't understand what
Mm,
that means. So you get a hot record out here. You're working. You're making money. You feel like you're God. Okay. Then everybody, excuse my French, kissing your behind, and then the record start to die. All those people that praise you, they say, he need a new record. He need a new record. You be wonder what happened to all that. I'm the greatest. I'm the this. I'm the that. Then from that point, the word get around. Oh, he need a new record. Next thing you know, you're barely working. So the same
yeah,
people that chase you run from you.
that's right.
It take it take a hell of a wife to stick with a guy like that, and it take a hell of a man to stick it out because this business. Charlie Wilson said this: it'll chew you up and it'll spit you out.
What you do. Mm,
So for every young artist out there, I'll say one, if you don't have to make a family now, don't. If you can go to school along with your music and get you a degree under your belt, please do and save your money, open up your own business, have an income. For years, I had my own place of business, a couple of business throughout this music industry. And if I had not, I had families and I was married at the time, I would have starved to death. So it's up and it's down and it's up and it's down. You go in the studio, you cut a record, you just know you got a winner and the
and it
record
might not.
flop.
Mm-hmm.
You go in the studio, cut 4 or 5 songs, you pick this song, it flop. The ones you
Flops.
didn't even think of, it blow up for you. So you don't know. You just know you got a good song, good product, but the people decide. Sometimes people they'll miss a song. Sometimes they'll pick it up 2 years later, 3 years later. I
Yep.
can name a lot of artists that
Yep.
had records that was out here 2 years, 3 years before it caught on.
Yep.
Dorothy Moore, Miss Blue. A lot of people. I can just go on and on and on. It's just the nature of the business. It ain't. This is a big boy game. Just separate the men from the boys.
From the
This
boys.
business.
Yes.
And
Yes.
naturally when you're hot, people think you're a producer. They think you some type of a genius. And when the record get cold, all of that they thought just go out the window.
That's right.
So
That
that's why I say every young artist,
yes.
uh, be careful again when God bless you with favor and you get you a big record. Be careful how you treat people. Please do. Be careful how you treat
Oh,
other artists. Be careful how you put your name and your
oh,
mouth on it. because the simple fact, I'm talking about stuff I've seen. My Uncle Milton used to always say, he heard a friend of his say the wrong thing. He looked at me, he said, Pete, he said, when you're a public figure, you have fans, and some people, they diehard fans, they believe in everything you say, whether it's right or wrong.
Everything.
He say, but you owe it to your fans, yourself, and your colleagues to keep your mouth closed. He said, you can say something about somebody, and because people believe in you, it could hurt that person's
It
career
ruin them.
for the
Mm-hmm.
rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a true saying, when the Bible say that your tongue is a deadly weapon.
It is.
It's serious. That's for real.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot, and I'm glad I've lived long enough to be in this business to see it. I see young artists, and I understand they be proud. There's a lot of good young artists out there, and I watch how flamboyant they be, how arrogant they be, how people praise them, which echo with the game. But you can't let that go to your head, because I truly learned for real. When the old folks used to always say God is a jealous God, I'm a true believer. I believe that,
Yes, he
because
is.
I've seen artists get so big and didn't do nothing wrong, but people praised them and started to worship them, and they fell to nothing. I've seen it with my own eyes, and they didn't do anything wrong. But you have to be careful who you let in your circle, because you got a lot of yes men in your circle. It'll ruin you. It'll ruin you,
Woo!
because what happens is you don't have nobody real in your circle. So now, even when you do somebody wrong to your people in your circle, you ain't done no wrong. Wrong kind
Right,
of people to have in your circle.
right.
You always need the kind of woman, the kind of employees that say, "Hey, boss, hey, baby, uh, I love you, but
That-
you
That's not
wrong."
right. Mm-hmm.
Because if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have that, you'll lose yourself. I'm telling you, you can't help it. You got fame, you got money, everything you touch turning to gold, and you got all these yes men, and you ain't got a solid woman that will tell you when you're wrong.
That's right.
You gonna fall. You're
That's
gonna
right.
fall. I've seen it. I'm talking about I've seen it with my own eyes. So that's why having a circle is not really good. Have
Right.
associates is fine. My Uncle Milton taught me, you have no friends in this business. You
Mm.
don't. Smile just a frown turned upside down in this
Mm.
business.
Come on.
Because in this business, here it works a lot. You have friends that are bigger than you. And as long as you stay beneath them, they smile in your face, talk about how great you are. But when it look like you're gonna pass them, time changes, things changes, people
Yes.
change.
Yes.
So it's you really have to stay grounded and prayed up all the time, all the
I,
time.
I think everything that you've just said is just not only just for artists or football
It's
players or whatever.
life,
It's
life.
yes, it's life. It is. You are so right. Those are. It's just life. You can have the wrong friends in life. They can be your yes friends. They won't tell you the truth, how you looking like a fool, and you can lose everything that you have. And the thing
Yeah,
that you just
yeah,
said, people, you can have your circle and they're good with you until they see you surpassing them. Once you start surpassing
yes.
them, it's a problem. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yes. Oh
it's
my God.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yes.
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you everything I'm telling you. It ain't nothing I thought about. It's everything I've
Oh, it's
experienced and I
facts.
talked and saw, watched, and lived. Okay, you. All I can say, if you said Charles Wilson, narrow it down, I say one thing: stay close to God, stay prayed up, because you'd be surprised. Like they say, all the doors that you think is blocked, they're blocked for a bad reason, but they're blocked for good reasons sometimes. Uh,
Yes.
Most people they don't want to see you win. They just don't want to see you win. And as long as you're doing something that benefits them, you're the
Ooh,
greatest. But when it stops benefiting them,
you're the worst.
it's not cool anymore.
Right.
Right. So
That's
you know, you have to really, you can take advice from a lot of people because some things people say would make sense. But please don't ever tell anybody where you're going, how you plan to get there, and when you're going. If you do, you're gonna make, that's why the Bible go back to not letting the left hand know what the right hand
know
does.
what your
That's
right hand
true.
doing.
It's
That's
true.
right.
I've seen them come, I've seen them go. I seen an artist, disco had killed the blues totally. This artist used to be signed with Columbia Records. He used to be with his brother at Hill Records. We're talking about the late great ZZ Hill.
Mm.
This man had been with he had been with Columbia Records. He had been a star and he fell down. I remember Artie Bluesville White was like a play brother to my Uncle Emil, and had a club in Chicago called Boosters. And he played Mean Seal Johnson and ZZ Hill. ZZ was just signing with Malaco. We didn't draw flies. We didn't make no money. We'd take up $61 in a hat, send ZZ Hill back to Tyler, Texas on a Greyhound bus. This is a true story. This is no makeup, nothing. A week later, a guy that owned a record shop in Little Rock.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Now I
Can
can.
you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How did I get
Can you
out of
hear
there?
me?
Hello?
I can hear you. Go out, then come back in. Your telephone probably wrong. He is dropping some gems on here tonight, you guys. I mean, woo! Everything he's saying is just the truth. And it applies to life, just life in general, you know. So hopefully we can get him back on here. Okay, let's see. Give us a few minutes.
Can you hear
Okay,
me?
I can.
Yeah, a phone call came through and knocked us off.
That's what I
Anyway,
said.
yeah, what happened was we had to take up $61 and put it in a hat and send ZZ Hill back to Tyler, Texas. We all were broke. A week later, Crook in Little Rock had a record shop called Crook's Record Rack. He said, Charles, he called me one day. He said, Charles, why don't y'all talk to ZZ Hill? I said, what's wrong? He said, man, ZZ begging promoters to hire him at $700 and they don't want to be bothered with him. I said, well, Crook, the man got a living to make. Well, mind you, when ZZ was in Chicago, he asked me, said, Charles, what you doing, man? I said, I'm recording an album. He said, y'all to come on, go with me to Malaco. I said, I don't know. I ain't been hearing good things at the time. I hear they ain't got no money. Just speaking what I heard. He said, man, let me tell you, don't you ever think like that. He said, when I went to Columbia Records, nobody never would have told me they would have signed me, but a kid that was an A&R mama used to listen to my music when he was a little boy. And because he remembered me, he signed me at Columbia Records with the record Love So Good When You Steal It. But to make a long story short, ZZ were broke, flat broke, couldn't work. His entertainer friends wouldn't answer his phone calls. I know because we used to talk about it.
Mm.
They put out Bump and Grind on ZZ Hill. They put out Leaking My Dream. At the time, Bobby Bland had just left MCA Records, so GCI in Chicago started playing. The only blues singer they would play with Bobby Bland, they started playing ZZ. A year later, now remember I told you the Crook at Crook Record Rack called me and said, man, why don't y'all talk to ZZ? He begging these promoters to hire him at $700. This is the honest God truth. A year later, Crook called me. He said, Charles, I said, what? He said, man, Jeezy is hot. I said, hot with what? He said, just listen to me. He said, all the promoters that got money hiring him 8, 9 times a year, and all the ones ain't putting their money together getting him. I said, well, what he got? He said, Down Home Blues. Now, ZZ brought the blues back. Old man Tommy Couch told me, and he did an interview, and it's in a magazine. He didn't know the record was that big. When he looked up and discovered the record that big, it had sold 850,000. He stopped the press. I said, well, why would you do that? He said, because the companies, all of us over here, we're not RIAA certified. And if you've been in business 15, 20 years, all of a sudden you popping up with million sellers, IRS gonna climb up you with a microscope. He said, so I stopped the press. So that's when I hear guys before the streaming thing came about talking about, man, my record sold 1 million copies. No, your record ain't sold 1 million copies because no company over in the Chili Circus of the Soul during our time was RIAA certified. Back during Tyrone Davis and them days, Turn Back to Hand Time, Changed My Mind, those companies were RIAA certified, and they sold millions of records.
So
the last big record that went gold over here was Johnny Taylor, Good Love album. Okay. Now since streaming came about, guys are getting 10 million streams, 5 million, but we talking about before then.
right.
Okay. We talking about before then. So, but I said that to tell you a story about how you have to be careful as an artist when you're doing good and another artist not. Because ZZ couldn't get a phone call from his friends. They wouldn't talk to him. I talked to the man on the phone. He used to tell me, and disco had killed the blues. There was no more blues. It was disco. And ZZ brought the blues back with Down Home Blues. So, but my point is, he went from no money to getting sent home with a $61 ticket to Tyler, Texas, to buying buses, selling, being the biggest blues artist there was at the time. He was hot. So you can't never count no one out. Just because a man ain't hot today, don't count him out. They count ZZ out. They count a lot of artists out. You cannot, as long as a man got breath in his body, can deliver a song. He don't have to be a great singer. If he can deliver a song and someone, or he write himself a hit song, miracles can happen. I've lived long enough to see it.
I believe it. I know it.
I've been here. I know. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people go from can't eat to having more than enough to eat. I've seen people went from having a more than enough to eat to can't eat. I've seen both sides of the fence. I've seen it all. And God bless me to continue to live, I'll probably see more. So when as a young artist, when you get on and get a hot record, be careful with your mouth, be careful with your arrogance, be careful, because you want to stay successful, you want to stay humble, you want to save your money. Don't tell everybody what you're doing, because you really don't have no real friends in this business, and just stay prayed up and let God order steps. Because I've seen a few guys that was cocky, arrogant, treat people like dirt, and they don't look so pretty right now. I know for a fact. So that's why you have to really, really, really be careful. When you get your season, you get your season. People tend to think you're a genius. When you get your season, they think you're a producer. You're not. No, everybody ain't a producer just because they hot. They get hot. I want you to produce me. They didn't even produce themselves. So you have to really, you have to watch this business real careful. Then you got a lot of people that jumped into the game, and an artist get one record and it's big. He a legend. Really. He got one record. He the hottest artist, for example. He a legend. All of a sudden, he's a legend. Where's accolades at? What kind of dues have he paid? You know, legends
Mm,
pay dues. Legends go through
mm,
some meal, no meal, plenty of meals, some money, no money. They
mm,
eat this,
mm.
breathe this, sleep with it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it separates the men from the boys. So, you know, when people talk about how great they are, just be thankful because tomorrow you may not be so great. You do not know what tomorrow holds for you.
Woo, yes, 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 yes. Now, I've had several, well, a lot of different artists on here, and I've had one artist that he make good music, he can sing, wanted to give up, but then he came out with that one song, and it took off,
I know an artist.
and
I know an
that was
artist.
one
I
of
know an artist
his
like that
things
now.
that he would tell someone.
I know an artist that was like that before,
Yeah,
and I
and
was
he
very
was like,
instrumental. I was very instrumental in helping someone get
mhm,
him back to a certain position that got him on, and he's doing real
mhm,
good right now. I won't call his name because it's not important. But
right,
you know, listen, in this business, you want to run, you want to stay, you want to cry, you want to jump, you want to quit. It's the
yep,
nature of
mhm,
business. All I tell you is this: if you stick and you stay and you never ever give up, I guarantee you some good things will happen for you. Look at my
I
friend Bobby
believe that.
Rush. Look at Bobby Rush. I know the dudes Bobby Rush paid. He paid him before I got with him, and I was a 14-year-old boy when I got with him. But he's having a time of his life, and God has blessed him tremendously to be 92 years old, can know who he is, can still entertain, and he making
Mm,
more money now than he ever made in his
in his
entire
life,
life. And he winning Grammys after Grammys. You gotta stick and
amazing.
stay. And it get rough. It get rough. Sometimes you be at home, you be sitting down thinking, you be like, what? you you don't have answers no more. But you just keep doing what you do, doing what you do, and it'll surpass. You know, this business ain't for everybody. Some people get
Right.
in and get beginner's luck, shoot to the top, but they won't stay because
Oh,
this business come with a beat down. It's no joke
mm,
now. It can come with a beat down. Okay. See, it's easy for you to smile when you can pay your bills. You know that. And you got money
that's
in the
right.
bank and your pocket's fat.
Mhm.
It ain't that ain't the test. What you do when your phone ain't ringing so much no more. What you do when people ain't kissing your behind so much. Can you stand the test of time? Now, some of us can. I can prove I can. I'm still here. Okay. And it's a few more still here. And it's a few that can't. See, we didn't come up in the business working jobs. We learned from
Mm,
the old guy that wasn't what we supposed to do. We wasn't supposed to work no job. Now, if they had told us we should, probably we would have been in better shape, you know, throughout the years. Our struggle wouldn't have been as hard, but we didn't come into business working no jobs. We had no intentions, no plans to work a job, none whatsoever. Well, a lot
just
of
the
entertainers now work jobs. Now, I used to hang with Chuck Jackson and Marvin Yancey. Chuck Jackson, not in the day now from New York. Chuck Jackson from the Independents that went got Natalie Cole out of a flop house and put in rehab and started recording her. I used to hang with Chuck Jackson, Marvin Yancey, before Marvin even married Natalie Cole. And Chuck Jackson used to tell me, Charles Wilson, the money is in the administration end, but this business is not for a working man. You know,
mm,
I used to hang with Chuck Bernard and them and Carl Davis down at Brunswick Studio when they had Tyrone Davis, Barbara Acklin, Jacqueline Wilson, Obers Laville, the Artistics. And they used to preach to me, entertainers don't work their jobs.
Mm,
That's the way we grew up. You die hard. You fight this. You win or you lose. You don't work
mm,
jobs. You believe in who you are and what you got and what God gave you. That's the way we were taught. I'm not going to
mm.
say it was perfectly right, but the, me, people like Willie Clayton came up in the game. Jobs were no option for us. We didn't even think job. We just know that we need to hustle some money, get a record, and get a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
We came up, there was no internet, there was no
right.
Facebook, radio, radio, radio. You know, it's easy now to be a star. You can be on social media and blow yourself up and get somebody to work social media, and all over the world would know who you is.
Yep.
Switzerland, Spain, you ain't never
Yep.
been overseas. When we
Yep.
came up, we couldn't, it was none of that. We
Right.
paid, we struggled. You know what I'm saying? We hanged our own posters, did our own shows sometime when we couldn't get hired or when we found out where our record was strong at. It's easy now. It's easy now. A lot of artists that are stars right now, today in Southern Soul, wouldn't be stars if there wasn't no social media.
And
Because if you didn't know how to get your music out there and all of that, and didn't know how to beat the bushes, you'd be in trouble. But social media solves all of that.
yeah, because a lot of times with social media, even with the songs that go viral, is somebody out there that it was several songs that had gone viral that I didn't know anything about until I saw it on social media. You know, they go
Yeah,
viral and
yeah.
boom, that's it. You
Back
know,
in the day, back in the day, when we were recording records in Chicago, the work was down south. And you could be hot as you can be down south working, and people in Chicago don't really know you that hot. Now, times start to change where people
yep,
come visit down south, they get the record and they take it back and DJ play it, then they get to know who you is. But now you can get on social media. Every country, every city in the world could see you the same hour, the same day, the same time. You know what I'm saying?
yep, yep,
When if it wasn't for social media, I tell you again, a lot of artists that are stars now would not be stars because we had to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? We had to learn the hard way. We had to beat the
right.
bushes, knock down the walls, break the barriers. And they wasn't giving no young guy a shot. It just wasn't possible. It just wasn't possible. So, but now they got it made in the shade, honestly.
Well, hey, Darryl Simmons, he said a lot of times y'all used to promote your own shows, no promoters. Like,
We had to. We had to. Because what happens, you put out a record, it gets so hot, but not hot enough for the promoter to say, oh, we want Charles Wilson. We want him. But the record hot enough for you to go hang some posters, buy you $300 worth of radio airtime, and go in there and make you a couple of $1,000 off the door. Okay?
hmm,
But it wasn't hot enough for a promoter to call you. Now, after that promoter starts seeing your name circulate, and they say, "Oh, Charles Wilson was here in Greenville. How many people he have? He had about 250 people." Now he starts to think, maybe I should add him on the show. I used to get on the phone, call the radio station. I said, "Who's the record stores there?" They give me the number to the record store. I call the record stores and I say, "Who are the promoters in y'all town that been bringing shows?" Because everybody put tickets in the beauty shop, in the record
hmm,
stores. Okay.
hmm.
Who are the promoters? Then I get their names. Then I call them. Now, back in the day, some promoters say, "Hey, man, it's a good record." So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this record hot. I'm going to bring you in and we work a first money deal. First money deal is like The first 1,000 is mine, the second 1,000 is his, and everything over there is 50-50. If you had a good record and a promoter didn't mind gambling on you, he would take it to the station, even though you sent it. He'd go there and make deals with the radio station, and they get you hot, and he'll bring you to town. Those days are came and gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I guess it might be a promoter here that might, but they done came and gone. But social media is the answer to everybody's success, basically, because you get on social media now, and the people in Switzerland will know you. My first tour in Switzerland was 10 weeks, 1993. I was signed with an independent major label called Ichiban Records. I had never been out of the country in my life, and my first tour was 10 weeks. But if not had been from that company, I never would have went. Okay.
Wow.
And that's when I started going over to Switzerland, Holland, Milan, Italy, different places like that, because being signed with Ichiban Records, they had me, Curtis Mayfield, Joey Lee Gunn from the Mighty Clouds of Joy, Tyrone Davis, Clarence Carter. That's where Stroking came from. Benny King, Trudy Land. I can go on and on and on. But now people hear your music from overseas and they'll reach out. Hey, we'd like to bring you over. So social media social media is the thing. It's a winning situation. But we didn't have social media back then. That's what we know about the grind.
Yeah, because y'all had to hit it running. Y'all had to. So now, we can. Right. And see, we can sit back here and just make a few clicks.
Play for radio station for free. Yeah. I used to come from Chicago to Mississippi and play for radio stations that had festivals for free. They'd pay my band and wouldn't give me a dime and gave me rooms. And that was all right with me because I needed to be in the game. A whole lot of times I played for radio station, didn't make 1 red cent. I just happened to have money with me, but they paid my band, which was $600. I had a 4-piece band paying them $150 a night, and they'll get us rooms, and they doubled everybody up except me. Everybody else had to. Some promoters used to have audacity to say, "I'll buy 1 double room for you, and all y'all can sleep in 1 room," and I just buy the other 2 rooms and myself a room, just to be on the festival, getting into the market, to be seen, to be heard, to get played. It's a big boy game. Trust me when I tell you, things are much easier now.
Oh, definitely. When all you have to do is just stand behind the computer. Daryl said, he said, see, this is why the music business and the business of music are 2 totally different things. You really got to understand
around. He knows what he's talking about. Daryl Simmons been around. He's a good guy, a real good businessman, try to help everybody. See, the true story behind all of this, artists today chase the money. They don't chase the dream. We came up chasing the dream. We just wanted to be somebody. We didn't really care if we got paid. We just wanted to be somebody. We figured later on things would be better. But the problem with everybody now is that they chase the money without chasing the dream. You chase the dream and the money will come, but they chase the money and they don't chase the dream. That's the whole trick to this game right here. And if you chase the money before you chase the dream, you'll be highly disappointed in the long run. And me and Mom and Cease used to talk about this. Some people record a record and they get instant success right then. Mm-hmm. But listen to me real careful. If you don't pay your dues from the beginning, you'll pay them at the end. Because you'll fall by the wayside and you have to pick yourself back up. The sad part about it, if you didn't pay your dues from the beginning, it's hard. It's like a child. Parent been taking care of him all his life, picking up his downfall, giving him a place to all that, and she passed away. And now he ain't got nobody to catch his fall. He lost. So Marvin was telling me, we were talking about when he first left the gospel group, his brother and them, and started. He had wrote Candy Liquor. He was going to try to give it to Millie Jackson or Clarence Carter. His wife told him he's going to walk out the door. She said, sit down. Let me talk to you. She said, do it yourself. Do it yourself. Marvin came out with the album. The first thing hit Ghetto Man. Second thing hit Double Crosser.
Mm.
Candy Liquor was taboo when it came to that. A promoter out of Greenville, Mississippi, Will Sanders, out of St. Louis. He was living in Greenville. He said, Charles Wilson, I'm going to put you on the show with Jesse James. I can do bad by myself. He said, I'm going to put you on the show with Marvin Cease, and we're going to break Candy Liquor. I said, you think they're going to play that record? He said, yeah. It was taboo. I used to ask people about it when I come down from Chicago. They said, well, ain't never heard of that. But they was playing Ghetto Man and Double Crosser. He brought him to Greenville, Mississippi. Now, Johnny Taylor had broke the record in Greenville at the VFW. He had 2,500 people. I opened the show for Marvin Cease with a band. Marvin Cease was singing with tracks, a cassette tape. You hear me? A cassette tape. And it was paying him $5,500. He had over 4,000 people there. The fire marshal had to run people away. I never seen so much water on the floor in my life. That was how many people. When Marvin came off the stage and went in the dressing room, he just fell up against the door. I said, Marvin, what's wrong? He said, man, I just can't believe this. I just can't believe this. And that's when he went on to tell me the story about what his wife told him. But to make a long story short, later on, he wound up paying his dues. But he had that beginner's luck. He came in the door with a major label, Mercury Records, no, London, then Mercury, then Jive. And then it started to dwindle. If you don't pay your dues from the beginning out here, I don't care. If you stick and stay, you're going to pay them at the end. This is a grind. Unbelievable. You can't forget this grind. You can't forget this. Yes.
Wow. So when you came out and you were with, the Marvin Cease and, all of the big name people back then.
I had made a name then when I was on shows with Marvin, Shirley Brown, Mel Waiters, all of us. I had made a name then. That was past the Love Seat days. Love Seat came out in '98. Backstreet came out in '95. I was at that $3,500 price back then. So I had came past, I had got into the game then. I was in.
And back then, $3,500, that was a lot of money back then. $3,500.
Back then, $3,500. You see, when Johnny Taylor passed away, the biggest price ever was paid was Johnny Taylor. And he was getting 25 and 30. He was the biggest artist over here. No doubt. I don't care what nobody said. He was the biggest. He was getting 25 and 30. Now the game has changed. You got artists getting way more money than Johnny was getting. But that money wasn't here for us back then. It was there always for R&B. It was there always for R&B artists. But it wasn't there for us. You know what I'm saying? I remember back in '84 when Blackfoot had Taxi. That was a $1,500 a night. Shirley Brown had Woman to Woman in '74. That was a $1,500 a night. I know for a true fact because my cousin was a road manager and a friend. I mean, that was the pay. $1,500. Then you ease up to 25 and 35 and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But consistency back then, you work for $2,500, work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's $7,500. Back then, you feed a lot of kids. You know what I'm saying? You that was money back then because the cost of living.
Yes.
Now, it's not a lot of money at all. Back during those days, if you had $1 million, you was a millionaire. Nowadays, $1 million is almost like $100.
$100,000.
Right. Yeah. But back then, if you had $1 million, you was truly legally considered a millionaire. Now, $1 million, nothing.
Right.
No.
Because I
if you got 10 million, you can say If you got 10 million, you can say I'm in the game, but that's it. You know,
That's
these people
it.
spend 30, $40 million.
That's right. And it's funny that you said that because we were just having a conversation about the $1 million. I was, saying, even if we got $1 million, we still have to work. Like,
Yeah,
it's no money.
you
It's no
do.
money,
Yeah,
So, but you have definitely, I mean, you have thrown some gems. You have educated us, definitely educated. And, now we're over here, Southern Soul now, which it sounds like it is different from back then. You can
a
come over
lot.
here now. And I hear a lot of people always say, anybody can come over here and sing. Like,
It appears
they
that, listen, it appears that way. Southern Soul get 10, 15 different artists every day. And I've
every
heard a
day.
lot of people I hear a lot of people say that. And before you know it, they's on stage working. But here where the problem gonna come. And I might not be here to see it, but you just keep watching. If you notice, people are crowding over here, crowding a lot of R&B artists that can't get on over there, crowding over here. And they trying to be the biggest artists over here. But nobody stops and put a halt on that thought and say, I don't want to be the biggest artist in Southern Soul. I want to be bigger than Southern Soul. There are
Mm,
three, there are three artists that I seen them come up and they got hot and big over here. And I used to see them how all of them compete against each other. And I talked to them one by one, just in general conversation. We happened to be talking one day, and I'll bring it up. I said, well, man, you shouldn't even try to be the biggest artist over here. You should try to be bigger than Southern Soul. And I guess they heard me. They did not hear me. But you got to remember, watch what I'm finna tell you. There's a few artists that was hot as hell, like King George is now. They not hot that way no more. But if they had tried to be bigger than Southern Soul, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in.
mm,
And you don't have to think about names. Just go down the line and think about who everybody was haranguing and haranguing for yesteryear, year before last, year before that. Who was hot? They not that hot no more. They relevant,
mm,
but they not that hot no more. So that tells you it's a numbers game. Okay? It's a
mm,
numbers game. Don't try to be the biggest artist in Southern Soul. Try to be bigger than the market Southern Soul. Because if you compete trying to be the biggest, when your season is over, you
mm.
might go back to number 35 or number one. As I say again, think about who used to be super hot over here. They're not super hot over here anymore. They relevant, they working, but they not super hot anymore. So what that tells you, I see artists
Mm.
right now dwindling down.
Oops, you guys, hold on. You can't go nowhere. You got to come back, honey, because hold on. Let's see, you guys. Look like his call dropped. Let's see. Mm, Here you go. Hold on. Okay.
All right. So I see them dwindling down because just like I was hot in the 90s, I'm not hot like that no more. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people was hot. You're not hot like that no more. Sometimes you get your season one time and sometimes you'll get your season again. We all keep cutting, hoping for a hit. But the one thing that I've done, me, Bobby Rush, and my Uncle Milton, we started going over to the predominant white market maybe 8-10 years
Mm.
ago. If Bobby Rush hadn't done that, what do you think would be happening to Bobby Rush right now? Think about it.
Mm.
Ain't no ain't no Grammys over here. Ain't no Grammys over here. I got inducted, me and my late great partner Tyrone Davis, Blues Hall of Fame in 2019. They don't respect that over here. Okay, they don't respect me being a Blues Hall of Famer. They don't respect that. You know, they respect a hot record. When you get past a hot record, you just another good singing guy, whatever. My point is, everybody is steady competing, but nobody is looking for an outlet. See, think about what I just said. There was other artists that used to be in King George position right now. Maybe not making that much money, but in King George position, in Tucker position. They not there no more because Tucker and King George is there. So if you as an artist had paved another way for yourself, it wouldn't matter.
You'll still be there.
It wouldn't matter. You might not be still hot over in Southern Soul, but you have another door. You know the old saying is a
Right.
poor rat don't have a one hole to crawl into.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I built and still building, and that's what Bobby Rush built. You can see the results, and my Uncle Milton passed away. You know what I'm saying? So you got to. Southern Soul get 10 or 15 new artists probably every day. And some of them are really good. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
can really sing.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them that ain't great singers, they got their line dance stuff. They step in their trail ride records so together until it don't matter because they
Mm-hmm.
grooving.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give them credit where credit is due.
That's right. That's right.
But
That's right.
my point I'm reaching is, I don't care who you are. This market was paved this way. You only big as your last record. Uncle Milton, Tyrone Davis, Bobby Bland said it. And look at it. Look. The game don't change, it changes hands.
Mm.
Just look. Just look for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. 5 years ago, who was the hottest artist you can think of? 4 years
Mm.
ago, who was the hottest artist you can think of? 3 years ago. Okay. But who the hottest artist now? King George,
Mm.
Tucker, Mike Clark Jr., Tony Amani.
Mm-hmm.
7 years ago, they wasn't hot. Probably wasn't even on, hadn't got on. So
Right.
if what I said don't make sense, then somebody not thinking.
Right.
7 years from now, it's a great possibility they won't be on. They may be relevant, they may be working, but they may not be hot. Somebody else is coming.
Right.
And that's the game. All let go with the game.
Right.
So that's
Right.
why you say what I say to a young artist. Get hot, get you some money, have you something else going. Make sure you open up you some solid places of business. If you don't have to start a family now, don't start one. Wait till you financially stable and you got your mark and made your mark, and then just enjoy life. And you have your
Mm.
couple of places that'll pay your bills, whether you sing or cut another record. If it's in your blood, once you get bit by this bug, you ain't gonna stop recording no way.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
but this game changes hands. It changes hand, and everybody had a season. Some people never get a turn. Some people get 2 or 3 turns. But when you got your turn, you better think and use it wisely. Don't take it for granted, because the
That's
two
right.
downfalls in man is one when you underestimate another man, and the second one is
Mm.
when you take is what you got, what position you hold for granted. You lose
Mm.
every time.
Ooh,
You lose
come on.
every time.
Come on. Come on.
I
So,
paid dues to learn what I'm talking about. Uh, you know, as the old saying say, the old folks said, "Bought sense is better than taught sense." On the streets, they say the game is sold, not told. That's true. Experience teaches you
right,
fact and knowledge,
right,
and when
right.
you learn, and it's no if and buts about the education. The education is out there. If you don't think it's out here, stay out here. Just stay out here meddling with this music business. It'll
You better say
educate you.
it. You better say
You
it.
know,
Like just like life.
yeah,
You better say it. I'm telling
it,
you.
it will.
So,
It'll teach you.
so with that being said, now that you're over here making music over here. So how do you feel about the music that you're making over here versus the type of music that you used to make? Like how
Well,
do you
I'm still making. No, no, I'm still making Southern Soul records. In the past 3 months, I put out 13 singles. They on
Mhm,
YouTube. Just go look at Charles Wilson. Can't wait.
mhm,
Love Seat 2025. Mississippi Boy 2025. Same door. If you can do it, I can do it too.
mhm,
Disrespect. Stampede Stallion, which I ain't even dropped yet. Uh, I recorded in the past in the white market blues. Okay. And I still recorded Southern Soul. Okay.
mhm,
Uh, and I'm gonna keep recording the two genres of music. Okay. Where I'm taking my career
mhm,
is a whole new different thing. But I'm gonna keep recording what I
mm.
recorded because you got what they call online stream platforms. People buy your music, you make money. So there's no reason for me to stop recording Southern Soul.
That's
If
right.
God should bless if God should bless me to get a hit record of Southern Soul, I'm gonna work. If I don't get a hit record of Southern Soul, I'm gonna work because I know somewhere else to go. I'm headed there. I'm building something somewhere else. So I'm gonna eat regardless.
Come on.
But I'm not gonna get in a boxing ring and box with nobody about a position. I don't have to. One, I have a talent. Two, I know how to pray. Three,
Mm,
I know how to sing. And I can sing more than one genre of music. So I don't have to get in the fight competition. I don't need that. But I'm gonna keep
right.
cutting the record. Okay. If the record take off, I'll work. But I'm not gonna beat my brains and beat myself down in time begging to work in Southern Soul.
Mm,
I'm not gonna do that because I got somewhere else to go. Much bigger, much greater. Okay. But I'm gonna keep
mhm,
cutting Southern Soul records because I was here when it was the Chitlin circuit before my partner Lenny Lewis named it Southern Soul. So
mm.
I paid dues in this market way before 90% of the artists you see out there was even here. It was me and Willa Clayton, the Lit Boys, that was under Bobby Bland, Tyrone Davis, Johnny Taylor, my uncle Lip Milton, ZZ Hill, Seal Johnson, Albert King, Otis Clay. It was us. We were the young kids then. So I don't have a reason to get in the ring. I ain't really got no dog in that fight, but I got a dog in this other fight. That's where I'm going. Yeah, and that's where I'm going. That's exactly where I'm going.
Well,
And I'm gonna keep fighting him because
well,
I
you
see the
know,
door is opening for me, and I love it.
come on. Come on. That's what I'm
So,
talking about. Well,
well,
I'm definitely gonna have to
go ahead. I'm
have
sorry.
I'm definitely gonna have you to come back because you have just
Not a problem.
educated us, and it's just been so interesting. This conversation has been really, really interesting. I
Well,
love to
here's the
speak
deal
with
with that. Here's the deal with that. You know, you know, I see a lot of people talk to a lot of people. And in the world today, clout chasing is everything. And people don't always believe who's right, they just believe who they like. Uh
Woo,
they
Jesus,
go get
yes.
who's hot to look for answers when a lot of artists that hot don't even have a story.
Mm,
When you say Charles Wilson is a legend, I'm a legend. I'm a legend by time, I'm a legend by accolades, and I'm a legend by experience. So people would look over you because you ain't hot, you ain't supposed to know.
yeah,
But that
yeah.
only tells you about the people that's looking over you. They don't know. Because if they know, it's only a few real legends left out here. Bobby Rush, Latimer, Shirley Brown, Willie Clayton, Charles Wilson. And I might missed a couple if I did, no personal thing. But you're talking about people that was here in the 70s grinding. You got a few people came out in the 90s, but they wasn't here during the 70s. We was here during the 70s. Okay. We seen the dusk, the dawn, and the daylight. So
Mm,
people go with the hot names and ask them questions, and having them questions they can't answer. And they have a tendency of wanting to forget about the people who paved the way. How you gonna forget Johnny Taylor? How you gonna forget Tyrone Davis? How you gonna forget Seal Johnson? How you gonna forget ZZ Hill when disco had took the market and he brought it back with the blues? How you gonna forget Denise LaSalle, Shirley
mm,
Brown? How you gonna
mm.
how you gonna forget Latimer, Bobby Rush? You can't. But if you yourself, the interviewer, don't know anything, you don't really know what to ask no way. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't see a lot of people like Charles Wilson on here talking, because people never reach out and say, "Hey, Charles, you've been here a minute long, talk to me." Because if you ain't hot, they don't see you, because this market is built on what have you done for me lately.
Lately, lately.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen nobody say, "I'm going to get Benny Latimer." I ain't seen nobody say, "I'm going to get Latimer." I ain't seen nobody say, "I'm going to get Shirley Brown." Cause
Mm,
Shirley been through some stuff. Latimer Shirley done been to the top of the game where Clyde Davis done wanted her. Shirley a legend, for real legend. Latimer a legend. Latimer put a whole lot of music together that y'all have no clue. I know about it. When Betty Wright went and got that white girl Josh Stone, she had Lit Beaver, Latimer, and all them playing on that girl record. That white girl that they called a soul singer that Betty Wright owned, Josh Stone, who's
mhm,
a
mhm,
mega star now. Betty Wright
mhm.
founded that girl. She was 16 years old. Latimer and them played on more hits out of South Florida than America can think of. If you on your show want to educate yourself, reach out to some of those legends and get some stories. Therefore, when them young artists come on talk, you can teach them something. And I'm not
Mm,
putting them down. A lot of them don't know because nobody's talked to them. Nobody shares nothing with them.
right,
Nobody try to tell them
right,
nothing. If anything, people try to shut them out,
right,
and people get
right.
envy of their success when they should give them knowledge with their success, why would push their career further. You
That's
know,
true. You are so right.
they
That
they
is true.
are they are the champions of the game today over there. All the old legends that's fair to the game. If the young guys want some knowledge and ask for it, should give it to them, because you want them to win. You want them to
Right.
win. And then maybe Otis Clay had a record years ago. He said, "Sometimes I get so depressed when things don't go my way, But if I could just reach out and help somebody, then I had a good day. You share it with
Mm,
them, like Patty said, you've been blessed. Pat. They share it with somebody else, and maybe somebody won't stumble and fall along the way. That's
mm.
the game. That's the game right there.
That's the game. Mm, mm. That's the game changer. That's it. That's the game. So if anybody on here wants to follow you on social media, what's your social media name?
Well, I'm Charles Wilson on Facebook,
Okay.
and I'm the Crown Prince of Soul on Facebook. And as I said before, they call Calvin Richardson the Crown Prince of Soul, but Jim O'Neill, 1984, who founded Living Blues magazine and Rooster Records, gave me that name, the Crown Prince of Soul, and I've been had it ever since. Okay. I've been had that name ever since. So I ain't never stopped using that name. But it's on Facebook. You can find me. I'm on Instagram. You can find Charles Wilson. Go on YouTube. I got like 13 new singles out since June. And you just look up Charles Wilson and look from the month from June to now in 2025. You can see all the new singles. And if you want to book me, you can get in touch with Miss Yolanda Marshall. And I want to thank her again for, bringing me to your show, Miss Yolanda Marshall. She's been working with me, doing a lot of things. I truly appreciate her. And I thank you all for having me on this show.
Yes, you're gonna have to come back. You're definitely gonna have to come back. Definitely.
Whenever you're
So
ready.
we'll stay.
Whenever you're ready.
We'll definitely stay in touch with Yolanda. We love Yolanda over here. We do. Yolanda, she's sent a lot of good people over here, but we'll definitely chat next year. Now this time, this was my internet. I have definitely enjoyed you.
Okay.
And we would definitely stay in touch. And I'm gonna go and follow you on your social media. So I will definitely be following and sharing your music, your journey, everything. And thank you so much for coming on Live with Vicky P.
And thank you for having me. But just watch carefully, because I'm making a transition. I'm not speaking about it. I'm not talking about it. But just keep up with my social media. I'm making a transition, and it's huge. It's really, really huge. So just keep up with me. It'll come to you. Just keep up with me. Okay.
I got you. I definitely will.
Thank you so much for having me. Okay.
You're welcome. You have a good night. Oh, you guys, this was so educational and so good. Oh my gosh. I love to have interviews like this, where some of our OGs can come on here and educate us, because if we don't know, we don't know. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the show tonight. Next Tuesday, I will be interviewing Houston County Cowboys. So, it's going to be a vibe. It's definitely going to be a vibe. So you guys make sure you come back next Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on the Live with Vicky P show, interviewing Charles Wilson, which is a legend. And I hope you guys have a good week. Good night.